My name is Derek Matthews, and I'm a 33-year-old software engineer from San Francisco. And this is my story. So I've been doing a lot of traveling recently between various states for work and pleasure. But I was on a road trip across Nevada last year when this happened. I was driving through the state from Las Vegas all the way up to Reno. It was a Friday afternoon when I left, and I was planning to spend the weekend in Reno. But about an hour into my drive, my car's fuel light turned on, and I realized I'd have to stop for gas sooner than I thought. And so I started looking around for some gas stations near me. The one closest to my location, according to Google Maps, was about 24 miles down the road. But I was getting a little low on patience by then, so I decided to look for other options. And that's when I saw it. An off-ramp exit coming up soon for a place called Exit 39. I was unfamiliar with Exit 39. I didn't remember seeing that particular exit on the map, but the idea of finding another gas station was too good to pass up. So I put my foot down on the accelerator and started heading towards the off-ramp. I pulled off the highway without much fanfare. Exit 39 was just a normal exit with a sign reading gas station and diner. Next right. But what I noticed right away was that the road leading to the exit looked awfully familiar. I'd driven it before, I just couldn't recall when. There were no cars on the road, but I could see lights shining through the windows of the diner and the gas station, so I assumed that I was the only one who hadn't discovered this exit yet. I got closer to the building and I saw a neon open sign above the pumps. The sight of the old 1950s-style gas station made me want to fill up. As I approached the pumps, I saw a man wearing a 1970s-style uniform pumping gas into a vintage car. When he saw me, he stopped and looked at me for a moment. Then he said, "You should go inside. They can help you." Then he went back to his car, so I decided to go inside and see what they had to offer. I opened the door and stepped inside. The bell above the door chimed. I looked around and saw a few customers sitting at the counter and eating. There were 3 employees behind the counter. A woman wearing a uniform similar to the man outside stood to my right. A younger man stood to my left. In the middle was a stocky, bald man with a name tag that read Harry. "What can I do for you?" the woman asked in a monotone voice. She had a blank expression on her face, and I couldn't help but feel that something was off about her. I asked if they had any coffee, and she nodded her head and poured me a cup. As I walked over to the counter to grab the coffee, I heard a strange sound coming from the front of the store. It sounded like someone hitting a keyboard repeatedly. I turned to look at the source of the noise and saw the young man typing furiously on an old computer. "What's going on here?" I asked Harry, who was now staring at the ceiling. Harry didn't respond. The young man suddenly stopped typing and turned to me. "Everything's fine," he said. He doesn't like talking to new people. The young man looked familiar, but I couldn't tell if I'd seen him before. His eyes seemed vacant, and his tone was monotone, almost robotic. I took a sip of my coffee, trying to ignore the unsettling feeling that had come over me. Something about this place was just off, but I couldn't put my finger on it. I sat down on a stool at the counter and decided to get some work done on my laptop. As I was working, I noticed the people around me start to behave strangely. The customer to my left kept repeating the same phrase over and over again. "Coffee, coffee, coffee." And the customer to my right kept saying, "Get out, get out, get out, get out." It was as if they were robots programmed to say those phrases at regular intervals. I tried to focus on my work, but it was difficult with all the commotion going on around me. And that's when I noticed something else strange. The clock on the wall was stuck at 2:39 a.m. Checked my phone to confirm the time, and it was 10:39 p.m. It was clear that something wasn't right here. But despite the strangeness of the situation, I decided to stick around and see what would happen. Maybe it was the coffee or the late hour, but I felt tired and sleepy all of a sudden. I leaned back on the stool and closed my eyes. When I opened them again, I noticed a VHS tape on the counter in front of me. I picked it up and saw that it was labeled Exit 39. I inserted the tape into a nearby VCR and pressed play. On the screen, I saw myself asleep at the same counter where I was sitting. The clock on the wall was still stuck at 2:39 a.m. It was obvious that this place was somehow stuck in time. Before I could think about what was happening, the bald man behind the counter spoke up. "Don't stay for 2:39. You won't come back the same." He said it in a monotone voice, just like the others. Then he looked at me and smiled. It was a chilling smile that sent shivers down my spine. I quickly turned off the VCR and threw the tape back on the counter. I needed to get out of there. I paid for my coffee and rushed out of the gas station, got into my car, and slammed the door shut. I looked at the people waiting patiently in line. One of them was a motorist who had taken the wrong turn and stumbled upon our little slice of eternity. He looked lost and confused. I forced a smile onto my face and said, "Welcome to exit 39. What can I get for you?" If you ever see exit 39 on a highway in Nevada, keep driving, no matter what.